Here we are live, our first live. So, welcome, Dementia Disruptors. If you're here live or if you're watching the replay, we started the channel about
A year ago?
yeah, I can hear that. That was me. We started this channel about a year ago and started really posting probably 8 months ago, and really didn't know what to expect or if anyone would care about some of the things we were sharing, but we really felt like we were learning a lot and wanted to share in case it could be helpful. And just these past couple of weeks, we surpassed 500 followers on YouTube, and we really wanted to come on and thank you for following us and share some of our journey and ask you questions if you're here live with us. So, yeah, that's what we're here for. So, Amanda, should we start with so we have a few questions prepared.
Yes.
Do you want to go through them?
Yeah, let's do it. And I just want to say we're really happy that you guys are all here. We're so excited. We are kind of humbled and shocked that so many people have subscribed. So we're very lucky and feel very grateful for that. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, we thought we would share some of the questions that we get asked quite often.
Jerry.
And the first one. Hello, Jerry. Nice to see you. We were wondering if you would be here. We do try to answer all the comments and all the emails we get, and we have seen you a few times, and we're happy that you're here today. So, our first question today is about when we look back, we have been realizing so many different things that we maybe didn't recognize at first might have been symptoms of dementia. So, our first question is looking back, what symptoms did you miss? So, if you're here live, feel free to answer in the comments and or on the replay. And Amanda, what stands out for you?
So for me, it was actually interesting because I was looking back at emails. Remember, we had talked about this. We had talked about looking back and seeing like emails that she had sent. So I was looking back through some emails, and I started noticing in around 2018, she started constantly sending me emails saying, I forgot my phone today. So, right, like I was like, that's so interesting because that had never before that. And she was emailing me since 2014. I was not getting those emails. So it was interesting that I started noticing that. Now, whether that was a sign or not, I don't know, but it just was, it just made me notice. I was like, that's interesting. Now, also, she would do other things in terms of that forgetting. So, like, she would put her coffee cup on top of her car and drive away, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I always just thought, like, mom's a little, she does stuff sometimes and stuff happens, and what are you gonna do? So yeah, those kinds of things, though, when I look back and think about that, and also her understanding of like maps. Because another thing, she was like, I got myself to, I can't remember where she went, but she went to some location. And she was like, I don't know how to get home, so I'm going to follow Paul. And I was like, how do you not know how to get home? Like, you got there. Right. So it's just like stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, you are a person with a very keen sense of direction. However, I would say
it's crazy, guys.
I get lost everywhere. So
we went to Florida one time when we were little, and like 20 years later, I was like, this is how we get there.
Yes. And as a caregiver for dementia, sometimes when you are not as good at something like that, you start to wonder, but yeah, when I think about some of the hindsight, there are a couple of things I was thinking about today. One is when she got lost and had no idea where she was or how she got there. And it was a part of the city that she had been to so many times. Like, it was very easy to see where she was and how she would have gotten there. And she was completely lost. We talk about that in another video. But the other thing that stands out to me is when she started messing up recipes quite often. And it might have been shortbread that she had been making for as long as we've been alive, or a dinner when she was having family over, and just simple things were getting messed up. all the time. Pretty much every time she made something without help, there was something wrong with that recipe. And now looking back, clearly that was probably a symptom.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, little car accidents.
Yes.
I remember she borrowed my car a few times, and twice she hit a fire hydrant with my car. She hit a pole in the parking lot, and this is got to be 15 years ago that this was happening, like very long time ago. So, yeah, looking back, it's amazing how many things stand out. So, again, if you are here live or if you are watching in the replay, share in the comments. Is there some symptoms that stand out to you as something that you missed?
Jerry's actually saying
Oh.
something. When we were going to Florida for winters at the rest stops, my wife would get lost going to the washroom and in a restaurant couldn't make a decision on what to eat and would just got what I got. Oh, that's interesting. Decision-making skills. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
judgment.
also I would agree. We've noticed things like that as well in different areas as well. Just even in her job, she would ask us things that were not normal that she would normally ask our opinion on. So
Mhm.
I hear that for sure. Yep. Also, just in hindsight, again, she would always make like broccoli and chicken because I was like, that's. I thought she just really liked broccoli and chicken, but I think it's also that it was so easy. It was
Right.
an easy thing to do instead of thinking too hard. Whether that is a symptom sign, I don't know, but yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and that judgment piece, I remember on vacation, she could not choose anything to do. She did not know anything. We were going to France and Italy, and I said, "What do you want to do?" And she could not make a decision. And our mother was a very planful person. She was very organized and very well planned all of her life. So it was this change in ability to make some of those judgments or decisions for sure.
Yeah. All
Thanks.
right. Question 2. What has been most helpful for mom, like your loved ones, well-being? Pam, what would you say for that one?
Whew. Number one, because I'm just going to pop it up oh, that's the wrong question. Just a second. Pop up the right question. Number one, adult day program. So when she was living at home, Amanda lived with her. And so this was probably even more helpful to you as well. But for our mom, social interaction was so lacking because she only lived with Amanda. And, I would talk to her every day, but she was only talking to the two of us most of the time. And we really wanted to get her out. She didn't have any hobbies. She had nothing after she retired, which was just before she started showing quite intense signs of dementia. So, getting her into that adult day program, having the interactions with the staff, keeping her busy for 5 hours a day, that was amazing. And I cannot say enough good things about the day program. It was through the Salvation Army. Wonderful, wonderful program. Amazing people. So good.
Agree. I 100% agree. I would say that for sure. And I would say, like, because we do know that social is such a huge, important thing in this. Um, I would definitely say that. I would also say Gia. Shout out to
Mhm.
Gia. Now, Gia's
Shout
new,
out to
so
Gia.
but big shout out to Gia. Gia is a PSW that worked with mom in the assisted care home that we had her in a retirement home, and now that we've moved her into long term care, Gia is amazing, and she comes and spends time with mom 2 times a week, at least. Sometimes she'll do more, but 2 times a week she comes and spends time with mom, and she's so amazing. Like I cannot, you guys, we're so lucky. She is just like chef's kiss perfection. She is thoughtful and empathetic and caring and wants to engage mom and comes up with different ways to do that, things that we're like, oh my God, I never would have thought to do something like that. Or, like, so she'll spend a few hours with her 2 times a week. So
Mhm.
amazing.
Yes, so creative.
Mhm.
And I definitely agree. The other thing that we did, and it's funny because all of these things are related really to her social interactions. We have a family schedule, so everyone can shared schedule. You can pop your name in when you're going. So our mom has a visitor pretty much every day. So it's either Gia twice a week, it's us, it's one of our aunts or one of
Uncle.
her brothers. Yeah. So we make sure that she has some kind of interaction and some engagement outside of just the activities in the home, all the time. And I'm just following up, Jerry. Yes, decision making was gone. Absolutely. It's one of those things. Again, I think people often think dementia is just about memory, but there's so many other factors, and decision making is a huge one. And it's really hard on us as caregivers because we need to keep them safe. We need to make decisions that you don't want to have to make for another adult. So that can be really challenging. Question number 3 is about well-being as well, but this time, how about well-being for yourself as a caregiver? What has been most helpful to you as a caregiver? And again, if you are here in the chat, Jerry or others, or watching the replay, let us know. We want to hear. This is a community, and your answers are just as helpful as ours. So, Amanda, go ahead.
So I think there's probably been a few things. Number one thing I would say for sure is having friends that let me cry. Having friends that, and not all friends are gonna do that. Like, so and some friends also don't know what to do when you're like that. So they'll kind of try to close it down. So it's important to hopefully you have at least one friend or family member or something like that that lets you feel your feelings and show those feelings. I think that's really important. Also, simple things like video games. Yes, I know I'm old, but I do play them and they are super helpful. They take my mind off things and allow me to focus on something that is, for me, enjoyable and fun. And also recently the art program. We did an art program with who was that with again?
Through the Rare Dementia Society.
Rare Dementia Society.
I can't.
Making art, change in art,
Making art, making change.
Making art, making change.
That was great.
Yeah, 8-week program, very good. 8 weeks, yeah. It was 8 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree on the grieving and the crying and that piece. And that has been a big challenge for me. I also think that it's important, like you said, to have friends or someone outside. Like, we will cry with each other sometimes, for sure. But sometimes we're at different places, and one person has the walls up, we call it, one person doesn't. And so it's really important to have someone outside of your caregiver partner, if you have a caregiver partner, which I'm so grateful I do. Yeah, important to have that outside person. The other 2 things that came to mind for me for this were gratitude. That is just like a practice that I used to do, and I started again recently. And just a practice of thinking of things that I'm grateful for every day, little tiny things. And it really changes my level of kind of happiness just in general. But ability to kind of take on some of the stress that comes. And the other one is being in the present with mom, especially. So sometimes I'm thinking about what's wrong or what can I fix, or who do I have to talk to fix something in the care home or whatever. And I find I am much more happier and much more calm when I can just be present with her and just know that this is what I've got right now, and I'm just going to be here. And yes, Jerry, support groups that he's associated. Daughter's totally on your side with getting her into the memory care section of our retirement home. That's great. Really good for her and for you. Yeah. And Amanda, what would you say if you're thinking about it now? it's probably
If you're thinking about it, it's probably already not too late, but it's definitely time.
yeah.
If it's definitely time. If you're thinking about it, it's definitely time. Like we had thought about moving her way before we actually did.
Mhm,
And in hindsight, there's a lot of in hindsight in this, right? In hindsight, we should have moved her sooner. Like
mhm,
absolutely. When she could still make friends and do some things. I mean, I think there's never a wrong time. I
mhm.
think, but I would say that if you're thinking about it, it is time. It's the right time.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah. Next question is, what was the hardest stage? Pam, what was the hardest stage for you?
Well, speaking of moving someone into a home, um, you know, I would say every stage has been hard for a different reason.
100%. It's very hard to pick one.
Yeah, this was a really hard question, and even when we first talked about the questions, I was like, I don't have an answer. They're all
Yeah,
hard. It's equally hard, but I really thought about it, and I would have to say when we first moved her into the retirement home, like that first 6 months, we were there every day. We were teaching the staff about dementia. She wanted to go home. She was resistant of care. There were so many challenges for like that 6 months, and then again, probably the 6 months just before we moved her to long-term care because her,
changed.
decline had been so great, and they just could not keep up with her. So, like, those 2 in the middle, we kind of felt like we had a little bit of relief for a bit, and then, yeah, it got worse. So, that's mine.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, and it
How
was
about you?
moving her into the retirement home was brutal,
Mhm,
like brutal. Yeah, that was really hard. For me, though, I would say again, same. Every day is hard. Every moment is hard. There's no easy. You always have this rumbling in the back of your life, even when you're doing other things. But for me, the hardest stage was the in between when she still knew things and actually knew that something was like she knew that she had dementia and
yeah.
the complete shoot the fear that she must have had um just
Mhm.
knowing that you're on this journey now and you um don't know what that means. And that to me was that was really hard in those times and talking to her about that because we're very honest, we were very close, and all of us, and those are really hard conversations to have. um and just knowing how scared she must have been, that was really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, those conversations were really hard. Like, we talk about this often, like, I when I think about even now, like, what this is like for her, you know, I'm a stranger to her. I'm coming in and today I came in and, helped her at mealtime, and then we're wheeling away and she's going, "Wait, who's taking me?" And I'm like, "It's okay. It's just me. You're safe." But, everyone's a stranger and like, yeah, I can't talk about it because I will start to cry, so
Yeah, for me, that's I think all in, forget stage, the hardest part is actually what she's going through.
yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
horrible. It's a horrible life, and, it sucks. Okay, Jerry, my wife still doesn't understand the disease she has, and that's hard for me. Yeah, that's brutal. Jerry, I don't know where you are, but we in Ontario, we have the Alzheimer's Society, and so me and my mom went to the Alzheimer's Society and took a 6-week course with them to help learn about this. I don't know if that would be helpful for you. I don't know if she'd be open to it, but um, it's something to think about if that could help at all.
Mhm. And she doesn't know our grandkids, but at least knows our daughters and me.
Mm.
Yeah,
Ottawa. Okay.
okay, in Ottawa. Yeah, we kind of had this dream that she would never forget us.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And she hasn't. Like,
Not
she
really.
actually hasn't, but Amanda in her head is little. Like, right? Like, we're big. And she'll say, like, "But you're big." She'll say, "You're big." And I'm like, "Do you mean old?" Like, "You're right, I am."
Yeah, yeah, I'll sometimes say, "Mom, it's me, Pam," and she'll say, "You're not Pam," and I'll say, "No, I just got really old." And then there are other days when she really doesn't believe that, and I just go, "Oh, well, Pam's coming later," and I just have to go along with that. Or there are some days that she doesn't know she has daughters, and
Mhm,
so it
mhm.
depends, and, some of those days are harder than others, and yeah, yeah, but most of the time, she knows when we are there that she is with someone she's safe with, and that's what, like, we kinda hold on to.
Yeah.
Um Did we both answer that question? Is it on to the next question?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, Amanda,
Yes.
and anyone who's watching here live or in the comments, what have you learned about yourself through this journey?
Um, I, as my sister can attest, I've never been the most patient person in the world. I have been a very impatient person.
Mhm.
I'm a person that will be not nice to you if I'm in a line and I'm not getting moving here. I'm not happy about that. What I have learned about myself is that with mom, and my mother used to drive me crazy, guys, like
Mhm.
crazy, crazy. Um, two things. One is I have a ton of I'm the most patient person in the world. It's stunning. Now, that may only be with mom, I don't know. I do find I am more patient with other people too that may normally, might have normally got my you know, got me going. Um, and also I have learned that as much as I also think that I am still 24, I'm
Mm,
not, and I am, very aware of my mortality. And it sounds weird, but what I mean is like having this happen made me look at life and say, like, what kind of life do I want to live? Because it can get stolen from you when you least expect it.
mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I too have learned some patience.
It's
Uh,
a good skill.
yeah. But for me, I think the biggest thing has been how important it is to allow myself to grieve. Because for the first, I would say, number of years, I did not cry. Like, probably, I probably only started crying about this a year ago, maybe. And um, I was just in problem solving mode. I think the second thing is there's some problems that you can't solve, and it's acceptance. Um, and so yeah, I think that has been, and actually allowing for me, I wasn't allowing grief to come out. I was instead getting super controlling about things and like getting frustrated really quickly. I had like I would be driving and yelling at people from my car, like no random bursts of anger for no reason. And once I started to let myself grieve and, just take those times, I also journal. My journal is now letters to my mom. So I actually write to my mom some of the things that I would have talked to her about. And that has been really, and usually I'm crying while I'm doing it. So that's been helpful as strange as it seems. Um, yeah, grieving and accepting. And I'm just seeing, yes, Jerry also has learned to be patient. And yeah, it's so hard. Initially, it was just the constant, like, same question, or like, I can't turn on the TV, or I can't change the channel, like those kinds of things over and over and over, that you're just like, okay, no problem. Here we go. Or just answering the same question over and over. Um, and then it's just like things that you never thought you'd have to deal with. And yeah, there's so much.
I think too, I think for me, the patience thing, it's also building empathy, right? It's that empathy muscle that I also probably didn't have for a long time. So my empathy is big. And I've always been kind of good at seeing other people's perspectives. Sometimes I just didn't want to see it. But now I can really, that's where I always think, like, how is this for her? So yeah. All right, next question. What's most challenging right now, Pamela?
I was trying to think about this. There are multiple challenges, but I feel like the big bucket is accepting how far along she is and letting go of the control we used to feel like we had. So, like, she recently moved into long-term care. It's much different from being in a retirement home. We had very close partnerships with a lot of the staff in the retirement home. It took us a long time to make that happen, but G, as an example, we got to know some of the staff really well and knew that they understood her really well, and accepting that we don't have those kinds of relationships here, and it's run quite differently, so we may not ever have those relationships in the same way, but knowing that they are doing really great and accepting that we can't control it all the way we used to, I think, is the biggest thing.
Yeah, I get that. And I think just a quick to understand the differences is that in assisted living in the retirement home, they are not prepared to deal with what we're dealing with. Like they don't have the training on this stuff. So it was a lot of training them to help mom. Also, everything, like, they don't take care of everything. Where what's happening here is that at the long-term care, there's not a ton of people visiting other people a lot of time. Like, we're there all the time. We're there a lot. And so what I think it is that they take full control of the care. Right. So, like, I'll go in and mom's got her haircut and I'm like, okay, she got her haircut. Great. Where in the retirement home, we would have to book that appointment, make sure she gets there. Like, the person at the hairdresser was really good about coming to get her and stuff like that. But, like, it's not like the whole thing was coordinated. We had to coordinate all of those things. At the long-term care, they just are like, these are our people and we take care of them. She needs a haircut, so we cut her hair, right? Like, things happen. So, which is great. It's just also, it was an adjustment. So, yeah. For me, the challenge still, I think, is always going to be the same thing. It's the unknown. It is what's going to happen next? What is that going to look like? How much harder is it going to be? Because I know it can be really hard, and I don't know we just don't know when. There's no timeline. It's not like somebody could be like, oh, in 6 months, this is what's going to happen. We don't know. So that's hard.
Yeah, absolutely. No idea. Okay, our final question, and again,
drum roll.
if you are here either live or after the fact in the comments, we would love to hear from you. But this question was one that came to us from our community when they heard we were doing a live, and it is, what do you do to resolve disagreements as caregivers together? How do we resolve caregiver or family disagreements? Amanda, over to you.
I think there's multiple things, but, like, for me, it is pick your battles. Like, I look at things and I go, okay, how much does this really matter to me? Am I going to dig my heels in for this? Or is this like you know what? It's fine. Either choice is going to be fine. So whether I think my choice is the better choice because it's my choice or whatever, how much does this really matter to me? Like, pick your battles. And I think being as honest as we can. I mean, sometimes it's hard because we don't want to hurt each other's feelings too, right? Like there's also this balance of we love each other very much, and she's my best friend, and I'm super lucky that she's going through this with me, and also remembering that as much as it's super hard for me, I know it's super hard for her, and not forgetting that it's also really hard for her. So we're just trying to figure this out. Um, we are a team, even though there are times when I'm like, um, but at the end, we both just want what's best for mom, right? Like you got to trust that that's what's happening, and yeah, pick your battles.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm just gonna, before I answer, I just am seeing that Jerry has not had disagreements with the daughters yet. That's really great. And just that the challenge was initially not knowing what to do until getting hooked up with Ontario Health at Home. Absolutely, Jerry. How do we not know that that should be our first call? And we actually have some videos on this. Like your first call should be, if you're in Ontario anyways, Ontario Health at Home, because there are resources for us. It is really challenging navigating the system. Okay, so my answer to resolving caregiver or family disagreements, I think number one is like aligning on the core of what's important. We want her independence. We want her dignity. We want her safety. We both totally know that. And that's like, what are we solving for? It's always like that. And then it's just like, there are times that it's really hard and we do have like conflicts and it's not easy, and we always come back to love and how much we love each other. And yeah, like I can't imagine not doing this with you. So yeah, just remembering that. And the other thing is humor. I think humor has helped us in across, like with mom's well-being, with our own well-being, with disagreement, like with everything. Finding something to laugh about, something that we can like share that kind of emotion and get us out of all of the hard stuff that we're always sledging through.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So thank you all. We hope that if you thank you, Jerry, for joining us and sharing.
We appreciate you.
We
appreciate all of you, even those who are here and didn't comment. We appreciate that you showed up. Anybody who watches this later, we appreciate you. We appreciate you for subscribing. We're really, really, really grateful for that. And you know, we're like, wow, people people care about this. I mean, obviously care about it, but about our stories.
Yes. And I should have had this up earlier. If you are not aware, we have a dementia tracker that we have found super helpful to help us with tracking the symptoms and things that are changing for our mom. It helps us when we go to doctor's appointments. It helps us to see the trends and things. And you can get it at disruptdementia.com. We made a copy that you can download and use yourself. So hopefully that helps. And we are so grateful to all of you. And
oh, we're glad you like the tracker, Jerry. That's awesome.
Oh, I don't see that comment yet. Oh, yes, there we go. Yes, Jerry likes the tracker. We have had lots of comments on the tracker and people appreciating it. So we're so happy that it could be helpful for people. Yeah, ask us anything, anytime. More videos to come. Any closing remarks, Amanda?
No, just that we're sending you positive vibes, and we know that this journey is difficult. You know, the more we all come together, the more we share and, you know, share our journeys, I think it's helpful for everybody else. So, yeah.
Yes. So follow. We are going to be starting an interview series, by the way. So follow along. We'll be bringing on some experts and other caregivers as well to share more. Thanks, everyone.